Hello everyone, and this is going to be my second set for the bow. This one is a little bit comfy, but it has a lot of offense. As you can see, it has almost max crit eye, max constitution, marathon runner, attack boost, all the good stuff. There are some things that don't really matter, like the thunder attack doesn't matter too much, or the stamina thief or the slinger capacity, but they're all things that they're nice in the long run. I only have attack charm level 3, but obviously if you can, you would want to max this out to get plus 5. I believe at plus 5 it also gives you, at plus 4 and plus 5 it gives you an extra plus 5 affinity, so you're just again you're critting more often, but you won't really need them too much. You mostly just do it for the extra attack. So for this build, you could kind of go with whatever bow you want. That's the great thing about just maxing crit and attack for a bow. You can use whatever one you want. I have a couple bows for different elemental weaknesses. The one I like to use in general is the Alluring Avelia, which is Velkhana's bow, just because I just like the look of it. Of course, I have it layered to be uh, Shrieking Legiana's bow because I just like the look of Legiana stuff. Also, my layered armor is Shrieking Legiana as well, because if you're going to do a bow build, there's no monster that I see as more of a bow set than both Legiana and Shrieking Legiana, because it gives you the bow charge plus. You could try to fit more Legiana in if you wanted to. I'm only missing one piece for the bow charge plus, but I don't. I go for a little bit more comfy-esque, and I don't really like the stuff that the rest of the Legiana pieces give, so it's just Shrieking Legiana helm and the coil. So for this, you go with the Shrieking Legiana Helm B, which just gives you better slottage, and it gives you hunger resistance 2, which means your stamina goes down a lot slower, like your max stamina, so you don't have to eat rations as much. Actually, never mind, I take it back. Because I have the regular Legiana piece, I get the bow charge plus. I completely forgot about that you can interchange them, which is pretty cool. Regular Legiana gives Evade Window and Divine Blessing, which is just for a little bit more comfiness. You could do whatever you really want for this piece, I guess, but this one is mostly for the Evade Window and the Legiana Bow Charge uh, set passive. And then for the gloves, we have Arch-Tempered Namael Gloves Y, which gives you Marathon Runner and some good decent slottage. This is just to have your stamina recharge faster. Or no, sorry, this makes it so when you're sprinting or you're holding your bow shot, the stamina goes down slower. So you don't have it's a little bit better for stamina management. It's not needed, but I just like it personally. And then Blight Resistance, it's just kind of there. So I mean, normally when you get hit with a blight, you're taking a null berry anyways, but it's there it's just a nice little thing in case you don't get the opportunity to use it. And then we go for the Shrieking Legiana Coil B. This again goes into the Legiana set passive, so your bow gets extra charge, so your shots do more damage when you hold it. Another good thing that would go with this would be focus, but a lot of the time with bow, you're like sidestepping everything anyway, so you don't really need focus too much unless you really want it. And then it gives evade extender, so your roll distance is farther, as well as when you do the side dash things with the bow, that also is affected by evade extender, as well as evade window. And then lastly, you go for the Namael Arch-Tempered Namael Weiss Greaves, which gives you 4 points of Constitution, and then the Thunder attack you don't really care about, but it's there. So if you're using a Thunder bow, your bow will do a little more damage in the Elemental department, which is always nice. For the equipment, it doesn't really matter what you do. I usually go for an Elemental resistance depending on what monster I'm fighting. So if I'm fighting like Toby, Kadachi or Fulgur Anjanath. I go for Thunderproof Mantle, or you could, put in an immunity or a fireproof, whatever. And then Temporal is just there for kind of like free hits. So if I ever mess up in positioning or something, then this just gives me a get out of jail free window. Normally with this one, Temporal, I swap it out between Temporal or the Health Booster, but again, you can go with whatever you really want. Oh, whoops. And then for the decorations, I have in the Alluring Avelia, I have Sprinter and Physique, so that way I have max Constitution, and then Sprinter also maxes out Marathon Runner. Again, it's just for stamina management. You don't need max Constitution or Marathon Runner, but it's more of a comfy thing, but it's there nonetheless. I have Expert Jewel which is a level 4 slot to get 2 points into Crit Eye. I'm only missing 1 point of Crit Eye to have it maxed out, but I feel like you don't really need it since with ranged weapons you're really, really incentivized to hit weak spots, which is like the face or the tail or what have you. This is just a regular Crit Jewel, which just gives you +1. And then this one is Sheath and Expert, so if you ever feel the need like you have to put the bow away, which isn't too often, mostly just when you need to drink a health potion or put some equipment on or put it down, it just makes it a little bit easier. So again, it's more of a comfy thing, you don't need it, but it also gives a point into Expert, which is why I put it on here. You mostly do it for the Expert, not so much as the Sheath. And then this next one, again, you're mostly doing it for the critical eye, but the slinger capacity is just like a boost. You hold more in your slinger, so that way when you do the 1,000 dragon shot thing with the slinger ammo for the bow, it does a little more damage because there's more capacity in there, as well as when if you slam a monster into a wall with the clutch claw slinger thing, you keep you keep some of your slinger ammo afterwards, which is nice. This one is just a critical boost, so when you do crit, your crits do more damage, and since you have a lot of crit from the critical eye, as well as, again, with ranged weapons, you're heavily incentivized to hit weak spots, so you're just critting more often in general. And if you are using a ranged weapon and you're within your preferred range, so each ranged weapon has a different critical range that it wants to maintain. If you're in that critical range for the ranged weapon, you get a base plus 10% affinity boost, I believe. It's something like that. It's not a massive boost, but it adds up. And then again, this one you're mostly going for the crit eye. The stamina thief is just a bonus, so if you want to spam like the arc shot where the rocks fall down, it just drains the monster stamina a little bit faster. Again, you're mostly doing this for the crit eye though. And then the tentacle greaves, I have the defense boost jewel because I'm going for a little bit of comfy, a little bit of offense. It's a nice mix, but you don't have to have this. Again, this could be whatever you want. It could be more damage, it could be an elemental resistance, it could be an elemental booster, or it could be recovery speed. It doesn't really matter. This slot's kind of interchangeable. But that is my bow set that I use all the time. It's a good mix. Some things are interchangeable, some things not so much. But that's pretty much it for this build. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!